Dare to enter the darkness to bring another into the light. Did you know there are more people enslaved right now than there were during the transatlantic slave trade period? There is one out of three reasons why people are trafficked, also known as modern day slavery. It is either for sex, organ, or labor trafficking. Human sex trafficking, or human trafficking in general, is nothing new, but there's been an exponential growth throughout the recent years. We are talking a worldwide epidemic. We are going to talk about who are the victims, why this industry has exponentially increased in the recent years, and inform you on a couple organizations who help fight against it. The role internet and social media play in adding to the human trafficking industry as well. It is crazy to know that every time a young person explores their phone, that alone increases their risk of interacting with a perpetrator. The internet provides traffickers with enormous scope to seek out and groom marginalized individuals through apps such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tinder. Many sexual exploiters lure vulnerable females, such as runaways and those in destabilized homes, with promise of modeling careers or relationships. Webcam sex tourism has also revolutionized sexual recruitment sale, facilitating webcam sex. Buyers enter an online webcam chat site and pay sellers to perform sex acts in front of the camera in a live stream session. This facilitates the most heinous exploitation. The Philippines has become the global epicenter of sexual abuse in this form. Who are the victims of this industry? The victims are vulnerable children whose ascribed status is poverty, homelessness. They're the usual targets, but victims in all social classes exist. A huge factor of growth is the pipeline of vulnerability, who in most cases are young people who are abused at home and or are part of the foster care system seeking for a better life. In many cases, their own parents are traffickers. Glamorization of the sex industry has also largely contributed to this pipeline, as stated per Dr. Sharon Cooper, founder and CEO of Developmental and Forensic Pediatrics. Who are the consumers of this industry? Per conversation.com, the most common customers for sexual services are men with enough disposable income, which typically costs from 15 US dollars to over 1,000. A study by Urban Institute studied the underground illegal commercial sex trade across 7 cities in America in 2007. Customers in these cities spent $290 million on sexual activities. Traffickers were handed down between $12,000 and $32,833 per week. And this is just a small sample. Per conversations.com, the review of 21 studies estimated that 13 to 20% of American men have purchased sex at least once. One might think it is the stranger down the street with these taboo desires. Surprisingly, these customers are not only identified as being male drug dealers, but shockingly enough, also included members of law enforcement, lawyers, construction workers, truckers, businessmen, social workers, city employees, and more. Many perpetrators are from the US who travel to engage in these illegal activities. This is why targeting human trafficking on an international scale is extremely important. It's very disheartening and sad to know how powerful this industry is on a local, national, and international scale. There are different organizations you can join to fight against human trafficking. One of my most favorite is founded by former CIA Tim Ballard. He's a part of this amazing organization called Operation Underground Railroad, whose name was inspired by Harriet Tubman, who freed the slaves. This organization was founded in 2013. They have gathered the world's experts in extraction operations and anti child trafficking efforts to bring an end to child slavery, and they work in conjunction with law enforcement throughout the world. This organization also provides aftercare for the victims and placement for them in vetted homes when they're children. You can find this organization in the internet, under ourrescue.org. Another effective organization is polarisproject.org. Polaris was founded in 2002. They are named after the North Star, symbolizing as a guide for slaves to navigate their way to freedom. On a national level, they serve victims and survivors through the National Trafficking Hotline. They have immense data set collection, and they work with trusted law enforcement and trained hotline advocates. They help survivors build plans to safely leave their situations or get the help they need to rebuild their lives. If you'd like more information, I encourage you to go to polarisproject.org. Human trafficking has been around since the beginning of time and is now a powerful underground commercial sex labor organ industry that only seems to grow and gain at the cost of many innocent women and children. I have given you some information on victims, the kind of victims who are targeted, who the perpetrators are, the exponential growth of this industry, and some organizations who are proactively working on eradicating this worldwide problem. Our most vulnerable are at risk, and not just the ones from broken homes, but all children, especially now that the new technologies revolutionized ways to reach new victims every day, regardless of social status. Organizations, as the ones I mentioned, are extremely important against the fight. It's important to shed awareness, especially to your kids if you have any, because nowadays anyone can be a victim, and even some of those you trust can be perpetrators. Human trafficking does not discriminate. It has in many ways crossed over to potentially affect many more women and children than ever before. We can be afraid or we can be proactive. I hope you found my speech informative. Thank you.